Republican congressman from Georgia, Buddy Carter. Congressman, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
You know, you could make a lot of news right now by making yourself 218.
No, thank you.
Okay, then let's go to the question I was going to ask you. It seems inevitable we're going to get to that point. What do you say? What is your response to an overwhelming number of Democrats across the aisle who you have often reached across to? You are not one of these guys who gets dug in and doesn't talk to people. They
Sure.
feel an inquiry now is necessary based on what happened. How do you feel about what happened, what you know about that call to the Ukrainian president?
Well, first of all, I've read the transcript. I've read it twice. And I will tell you, I see no smoking gun. I see no quid pro quo. I see nothing like that. And if they're basing off of that, then they're seeing something I'm not seeing.
What does any part of it concern you? That Rudy Giuliani's involved, that there was a reference to the money that Ukraine gets, that the president asked for a favor, that he talked about a political opponent? I mean, none of that troubles you?
Well, within the context of the transcript itself, no, it doesn't. I think it flows as it would flow. Yes, those subject matters are discussed in that transcript during that conversation, but if you look at it and you follow the flow of it, then it makes perfect sense. Again, I've read it twice and done my best to decipher it, and I just don't see it there.
What part of I guess the issue is at some point in that, if you're listening to the flow of that conversation and Joe Biden's name comes up, in the context of the fact that Joe Biden is a leading candidate against Donald Trump for presidency, what's the reference? Why should he be talking to the leader of another country asking about stuff that would be derogatory to Joe Biden?
Well, let's keep in mind that the president of Ukraine was the first one to bring up his name, and the president only mentioned him once. So it's not as if the president instigated this. It was the president of Ukraine who brought him up first. He's the one who brought Rudy Giuliani up first, and the president responded to that, but he did not initiate that.
All right, so what happens now? There's going to be, most likely, some movement forward on an impeachment inquiry. What is the response? Because at this point, there are 0 Republicans who see things the same way as Democrats. It seems a little bit, strange that the world is divided into this thing, where some people see a really problematic president and some people see no problem at all. How do you bridge that?
Well, and I think that's a little bit extreme to say that they see no problem at all. I suspect there are some who have concerns, but not to the level of impeachment. Certainly not. And I don't have any problem whatsoever with the transcript and what I saw the president engage in. It is what I would think that two leaders of two countries, the kind of conversation that they would have. This is simply the Democrats finally giving in to the far left wing of their party. They've wanted to impeach Donald Trump ever since he became president. They still cannot accept the fact that he's president of the United States of America.
But in fact, the 65 or whatever extra members of Congress who have joined the calls in the last 2 days, most of them are not from the left of the Democratic Party. In fact, those 7 with defense and intelligence experience who wrote the Washington Post op-ed the other day, it's a whole bunch of people who won in slim majorities in districts that were Republican. These aren't the far left of the Democratic Party.
No, but it's been the far left who's been pushing this the entire time. We went through the Russian debacle. We went through his properties. We went through his taxes. I don't know what's next unless it's his fast food habits.
Would it matter if the inquiry happened? If you're right and nothing's wrong, why not get this over with? Why not have an impeachment inquiry?
You know, that is, well, why not get it over with and let's get to the work of the American people. Let's start working for them and get some legislation passed to address prescription drug pricing, to address infrastructure, to address the big issues that we need to be addressing, like immigration, like health care.
Congressman, you know I like talking to you about all that stuff, so we're going to continue that conversation. We'll do it at another time when we don't have as much breaking news as we've got. But I do appreciate that you do like talking to us about those things, and we'll have you back. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congressman Buddy Carter of Georgia.